Come on in here, come on in here, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on in here, come on in here, it's the best band in the land. They can play a bugle call like you never heard before, so natural that you wanna go to war. That's just the bestest band, what am, Honeyland. Come on along, come on along, let me take you by the hand. Up to the man, up to the man, who's the leader of the band. And if you care to hear the Swanee River played in ragtime, come on and hear, come on and hear, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Welcome to this great American songbook celebration of the music of Irving Berlin. We are going to share with you some of our favorite Irving Berlin songs. We hope that maybe you'll hear a few of your favorites as well, and maybe even learn a few new favorites as well. That's just the bestest band, what am, Honeyland. Come on along, come on along, let me take you by the hand. Up to the man, up to the man, who's the leader of the band. And if you care to hear the Swanee River played in ragtime, come on and hear, come on and hear, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Thank you so much for that warm welcome. And thank you for our patience while we did our little mic testing and getting situated. We realized just as we were sitting down today, you are going to experience, I think, what is the first all-mom lineup of our programs yet this season. So all of us were dealing with kids earlier today, I think, in some fashion. So my name is Tamara Broniano. I am proud to be the outreach coordinator for Four Seasons Theater. Four Seasons Theater is a local company. We are now celebrating 20 years of bringing musical theater entertainment to Dane County audiences. And we're so happy to be with you here today in Oregon, my hometown, to share with you some of the music of the great songwriter Irving Berlin. So the story of Irving Berlin is a quintessentially American success story. Born Israel Berlin, the youngest of 6 children of a Jewish cantor, he arrived here at Ellis Island at the age of 5. His family was fleeing persecution in Russia, and they joined the melting pot of immigrants in New York's Lower East Side. Now, after his father's death, a 14-year-old Izzy struck out on his own, first earning coins as a busker, singing popular songs in bar rooms. And as he grew older, he found work as a boomer. Now, a boomer at that time was someone who was paid to sit in the audience of a Broadway show, clap loudly at the end of the songs, and try to get the people around him to sing along with the refrain. By age 16, he had landed work as a singing waiter in a Chinatown cafe, where he would charm the crowds with sentimental ballads and blue parodies of popular songs. And it was during his time as a singing waiter that he first began to write his own songs. Now, this was an era in which the music business made money not yet from recordings, but from the sale of piano music. Music that was cranked out in a part of New York City affectionately called Tin Pan Alley. So it was in Tin Pan Alley that Irving Berlin got his start as a songwriter. By age 21, he had a job writing for a Tin Pan Alley music house. And by age 23, he had his first bona fide hit, that song that began our program, Alexander's Ragtime Band. He earned $30,000 in royalties off of that one song alone. And if you translate that into modern money, that's about $1 million. Quite a successful young man at age 23. So this next song that we're going to bring you is from the first stage musical that Irving Berlin wrote, the 1914 production Watch Your Step. Now, getting this show produced on Broadway was a big moment for Irving Berlin. This was a time when a lot of the Broadway shows were much more in the style of German-style operetta. Think like Franz Lehar and The Merry Widow and those sorts of things. This song is also one of the first of several counterpoint duets that Irving Berlin wrote. A counterpoint duet is one where two different melodies come together in the final verse. To some sweet, beautiful drag. If you will play from a copy of a tune that is choppy, you'll get all my applause. And that is simply because I wanna listen to rag. Musical demons and your honey and dream, won't you play me some rag? Just change that classical nag to some sweet, beautiful drag. If you will of a tune that is choppy, you'll get all my applause. And that is simply because I want to listen to rag. Musical demons and your honey and dream, and won't you play me some rag? Just change that classical nag to some sweet beautiful drag. If you will play from a copy of a tune that is choppy, you'll get all my applause. And that is simply because I want to listen to rag. So while Irving Berlin was a brilliant songwriter, he was also a self-taught pianist who couldn't read music. He felt most comfortable playing rather peculiarly in the key of F sharp, meaning he played primarily on the black keys of the piano. He employed musical secretaries who would then write out his compositions for him on staves. And he used an ingenious invention for his songwriting, a transposing piano that he affectionately called the Buick. So the transposing piano was one that had a lever on the side of it that would literally shift the keys slightly so that they would be striking different strings, effectively transposing the key that he would be playing in. So this next song is one that he wrote in 1915, a love song to the Buick and other instruments like it.
As a child, I went wild when a band played. How I ran to the man when his hand swayed. Clarinets were my pets, and a slide trombone I thought was simply divine. But today, when they play, I could hiss them. Every bar is a jar to my system. But there's one play. I'm so delighted when I'm invited to hear a long-haired genius play. So you can keep your fiddle and your bow. Give me a Piano. I love to stop right beside an upright or a high-tone baby grand. When a green tetrazine starts to warble, I grow cold as an old piece of marble. I allude to the crude little party singer who doesn't know when to pause. At her best, I detest the soprano, but I run to the one at the piano. I simply love the accompaniment, and that's because I love a piano. I love a piano. I love to sit right down and play upon a piano, a grand piano. It simply carries me away. I know a fine way to treat a Steinway. I love to run my fingers over the keys, the ivories, and with the pedal. I love to meddle, not only music from Broadway. I'm so delighted when I'm invited to hear a long-haired genius play. So you can keep your fiddle and your bow. Give me a Piano. I love to stop right beside an upright or a high-toned baby grand.
So spectacular reviews like the Ziegfeld Follies or like Irving Berlin's own Music Box reviews reigned supreme on Broadway for many years. And then the stock market crashed, the Depression set in, and the public demand for those lighthearted venues began to wane. And instead, shows with social significance, political satire became to be more popular. Now, Irving Berlin, always respecting the wishes of his fans, responded to the shift by creating 2 new shows that featured more topical, satirical content. So this next song came from the first of these new shows, the 1932 musical Face the Music, a morality tale about the mighty brought low, which featured thinly veiled versions of current political figures and business moguls.
Why worry if skies are gray? Why should we complain? Let's laugh at a cloudy day. Let's sing in the rain. Songwriters say the storm quickly passes. That's their philosophy. They see the world through rose-colored glasses. Why shouldn't we? Just around the corner, there's a rainbow in the sky. So let's have another cup of coffee and let's have another piece of pie. Trouble's just a bubble and the clouds will soon roll by. So let's have another cup of coffee and let's have another piece of pie. Let a smile be your umbrella, for it's an April shower. Even John D. Rockefeller is looking for that silver lining. Mr. Herbert Hoover says that now's the time to buy. So let's have another cup of coffee and let's have another piece of pie.
So of all the musicals that Irving Berlin created for Broadway and for Hollywood, probably the best one known today is his 1954 film, White Christmas. So here's a ballad that Rosemary Clooney sang in that holiday treat.
Love, you didn't do right by me. You planned a romance that just hadn't a chance, and I'm through. Love, you didn't do right by me. I'm back on the shelf and I'm blaming myself, but it's you. My one love affair didn't get anywhere from the start. To send me a Joe who had winter and snow in his heart wasn't smart. Oh, love, you didn't do right by me. As they say in the song, you've done me wrong. Love, you didn't do right by me. You planned a romance that just hadn't a chance, and I'm through. Love, you didn't do right by me. I'm back on the shelf and I'm blaming myself, but it's you. My one love affair didn't get anywhere from the start. To send me a Joe who had winter and snow in his heart wasn't smart. Oh, love, you didn't do right by me. As they say in the song, you've done me wrong.
In an interview that Irving Berlin gave to the American magazine in 1920, he offered 9 rules of songwriting. And rule number 8, I think, says a lot about why Irving Berlin's music is so great. Rule number 8 says, make the song as simple as possible. Irving Berlin's songs are singable, his lyrics are plain spoken poetry. He distilled his writing down into the simplest, most elegant songs possible. This next ballad, written in 1923, I think is a great example of that very elemental simplicity of melody and lyric that make Irving Berlin's songs so memorable.
Gone is the romance that was so divine. 'Tis broken and cannot be mended. You must go your way and I must go mine. But now that our love dream do? What'll I do when I am wondering who is kissing you? What'll I do? What'll I do with just a photograph to tell my troubles to? When I'm alone with only dreams of you that won't come true, what'll I do? What'll I do with just a photograph to tell my troubles to? When I'm alone with only dreams of you that won't come true, what'll I do?
As a young man, Irving Berlin had only recently become an American citizen when he was drafted into the Army to serve in World War I. Now, he was already a very successful songwriter and performer by this time, but still, he reported for duty and was stationed at Camp Upton in Long Island, New York. Now, the Army wasn't stupid. They knew what they had. So they asked Irving Berlin to write a musical review to raise funds for a community center on the base. And Irving Berlin jumped at the chance to use his talents, particularly since his superior officers assured him that he could keep his regular songwriting hours while working on the review, and he wouldn't have to get up with the morning reveille like the rest of the gang on camp. So this next song, which was included in that World War I review that he wrote, I think directly reflects Irving Berlin's feelings about the morning bugle call. The other day I chanced to meet a soldier friend of mine. He'd been in camp for several weeks and he was looking fine. His muscles had developed and his cheeks were rosy red. I asked him how he liked the life, and this is what he said. Oh, how I hate to get up in the morning. Oh, how I'd love to remain in bed. For the hardest blow of all is to hear the bugle call. You've gotta get up, you've gotta get up, you've gotta get up this morning. Someday I'm going to murder the bugler. Someday they're going to find him dead. I'll amputate his reveille and step upon it heavily and spend the rest of my life in bed. The bugler in the army is the luckiest of men. He wakes the boys at 5 and then goes back to bed again. He doesn't have to blow again until the afternoon. If everything goes well with me, I'll be a bugler soon. Oh, how I hate to get up in the morning. Oh, how I'd love to remain in bed. For the hardest blow of all is to hear the bugler call. You gotta get up, you gotta get up, you gotta get up this morning. Oh boy. boy, the minute the battle is over, oh boy, the minute the foe is dead, I'll put my uniform away and move to Philadelphia and spend the rest of my life in bed. So when the United States entered World War II, Irving Berlin volunteered to produce another all-Army Broadway show to bolster morale at home and to benefit the Army Emergency Relief Fund. Berlin pulled a few songs from that World War I review that he had written, and he reused them, including that song you just heard, which he himself sang at every performance. Now, Berlin personally recruited professional performers who had either already joined up or who had been drafted into the Army, both white and African American performers, forming in effect the first racially integrated unit in the US Army. His show, This is the Army, opened on Broadway in 1942 with a 359-man all-Army cast, including a number of men who performed in drag. The show quickly took on a life of its own, spawning first a national tour, and then a movie, and then an international tour to entertain the troops in Europe, North Africa, and the South Pacific. During the 3 years that Irving Berlin toured with that show, approximately 2.5 million soldiers and civilians saw the production. But before the United States even entered the war, when Hitler was just coming to power, Irving Berlin felt crafted to create an American anthem of both patriotism and peace. So in 1938, he took a song that he had written back in 1918 at that Army camp, and he revised the lyrics, creating a stirring vision of all that he loved about his adopted home. We invite you to join us in singing. From what was Irving Berlin's most successful Broadway show, Annie, Get Your Gun. Now the backstory behind this show I think is a little interesting. So the producing team of Rodgers and Hammerstein had originally hired Jerome Kern to write the music for their adaptation of the story of the great Annie Oakley, which was already set to star Ethel Merman. But Jerome Kern passed away suddenly in 1945, so they recruited their friend Irving Berlin instead. Now Berlin resisted at first. He had just come off a grueling 3 years touring with This Is the Army, and he wasn't confident about writing what he called cowboy genre songs. But Richard Rodgers said, well, just take the script, sit down with it, spend some time with it, see what you think. And so Irving Berlin did just that. Holed up in the hotel with the book, he realized that at its core, the show was about show business, a place where he felt completely at home. So within a week, he had written 6 songs for the show, including the song that would eventually become a Broadway anthem, There's No Business Like Show Business. The musical was Irving Berlin's biggest success on Broadway, running for 1,147 performances and launching a record 9 new hit songs.
knew if the things I heard are so. They say that falling in love is wonderful. It's wonderful, so they say. And with the moon up above, it's wonderful. It's wonderful, so they tell me. I can't recall who said it. I know I never read it. I only know they tell me that love is grand. And the thing that's known as romance is wonderful, wonderful in every way, so they say. You leave your house some morning, and without any warning, you're stopping people shouting that love is grand. And to hold a man in your arms is wonderful, wonderful in every way, so they say. Taking stock of what I have and what I haven't. What do I find? The things I have will keep me satisfied. Checking up on what I have and what I haven't. What do I find? A healthy balance on the credit side. Got no diamond, got no pearl, still I think I'm a lucky girl. I've got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. Got no mansion, got no yacht, still I'm happy with what I've got. I've got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. Sunshine gives me a lovely day. Moonlight gives me the Milky Way. Got no checkbooks, got no banks, still I'd like to express my thanks. I've got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. And with the sun in the morning and the moon in the evening, I'm alright. Got no butler, got no maid, still I think I've been overpaid. I've got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. Got no silver, got no gold, what I've got can't be bought or sold. I've got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. Sunshine gives me a lovely day. Moonlight gives me the Milky Way. Got no heirlooms for my kin, made no will, but when I cash in, I'll leave the sun in the morning and the moon at night. And with the sun in the morning and the moon in the evening, I'm doing all right.
So while Irving Berlin was a talented songwriter, he was also a very savvy businessman. He was one of the first songwriters to use vertical integration to consolidate his empire. He wrote the songs, he owned the publishing house where the songs were printed, and he owned the theater where the music reviews played that popularized the songs. And when the radio became a big driver of music sales, he was on top of that change as well. This next song was Irving Berlin's first big radio-driven hit, which was eventually recorded by many different artists, including Bing Crosby, Billie Holiday, Dinah Washington, Andy Williams, and Aretha Franklin.
You can't stop people from talking, and they're talking, my dear, and the things they're saying fill my heart with fear. Now I could never believe them when they say you're untrue. I know that they're mistaken, still I want to hear it from you. Say it isn't so. Say it isn't so. Everyone is saying you don't love me. Say it isn't so. Everywhere I go, everyone I know whispers that you're growing tired of me. Say it isn't so. People say that you found somebody new, and it won't be long before you leave me. Say it isn't true. Say that everything is still okay. That's all I want to know. And what they're saying, say it isn't so. And it won't be long before you leave me. Say it isn't true. Say that everything is still okay. That's all I want to know. And what they're saying, say it isn't so.
One of Irving Berlin's best loved songs has a rather curious origin story. In 1926, a vaudeville performer named Belle Baker was in rehearsals for a new Rodgers and Hart musical. And she called her friend Irving Berlin in a panic, saying, "Irving, I'm opening in a show tomorrow night, and there isn't a Belle Baker song in the score. I'm so miserable, what can I do?" Well, Irving Berlin replied, "Well, Bella, I'll be honest with you. I do have a song in my trunk. I've often thought it would be good for you, but I never finished it." Well, Baker asked him to bring it to her immediately, saying, "Well, even something half finished by you is better than what I've got now." So Irving Berlin brought her the tune and worked through the night to complete it. The song was a hit, with audiences on opening night reportedly demanding 24 encores of the tune. And you can just imagine how angry the team of Rodgers and Hart must have been that their new show's hit song was written by Irving Berlin.
I was blue, just as blue as I could be. Every day was a cloudy day for me. Then good luck came a-knocking at my door. Skies were gray, but they're not gray anymore. Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see.
already the most successful Tin Pan Alley and Broadway songwriter of his day. But he would go on to even broader success with the great Hollywood musicals of the 1930s and 1940s. We can't think of the stars of that era, stars like Fred Astaire and Judy Garland and Bing Crosby, without also hearing Irving Berlin's songs. So we're going to wrap up our program today with a set of songs from Irving Berlin's work in the golden age of the Hollywood musical. The first tune from the 1950 musical Call Me Madam, then a tune from the 1946 Fred Astaire feature Blue Skies, and the last from the 1937 film On the Avenue.
It's a lovely day today, so whatever you've got to do, you've got a lovely day to do it, and that's true. And I hope whatever you've got to do is something that can be done by two, for I'd really like to stay. It's a lovely day today, and whatever you've got to do, I'd be so happy to be doing it with you. But if you've got something that must be done, and it can only be done by one, there is nothing more to say, except it's a lovely day for saying it's a lovely day. It's a lovely day today, and whatever you've got to do, I'd be so happy to be doing it with you. And I hope whatever you've got to do is something that can be done by two, for I'd really like to stay. It's a lovely day today, and whatever you've got to do, I'd be so happy to be doing it with you. But if you've got something that must be done, and it can only be done by one, there is nothing more to say. love. I need no overcoat. I'm burning with love. My heart's on fire. The flame grows higher. So I will weather the storm, storm, storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. Off with my overcoat, off with my glove. I need no overcoat. I'm burning with love. My heart's on fire. The flames grow higher. So I will weather the storm, storm, storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm.
I just realized that I forgot to introduce to you these wonderful performers that we're enjoying today. So I'm going to do that before we do our closing number. Starting from this far end, Miss Abby Nichols, Lisa Erdman, Sarah Streich, Kelsey Ann Johnson, and at the piano, as always, the fabulous Joy Bauman. So we'd like to thank you so much for joining us here today with some of the music of Irving Berlin. I'd like to thank the Friends of Four Seasons Theater who helped to underwrite our outreach programming. I'd like to invite you to visit our website, fourseasonstheater.com, to learn about our upcoming season of shows at the Overture Center. And of course, we'd like to leave you with one last Irving Berlin song, a song about the business that he loved so well.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know. Everything about it is appealing, everything the traffic will allow. Nowhere could you have that happy feeling when you are stealing that extra bow. There's no people like show people, they smile when they are low. Yesterday they told you you were not to go far. That night you open and there you are. Next day on your dressing room they promised star. Let's go on with the show. There's no people like show people, they smile when they are low. Even with a turkey that you know